Ali Muhammad and Lee Boy Malvo. Y'all remember?
Yeah.
We found out later that John Ali Muhammad was a part of a secret program within the United States military. Yes, and that he may have been an MK Ultra project. For those of you who don't know what MK Ultra, that's a mind control project that was carried on jointly between the CIA, Central Intelligence Agency, and the United States Army, where they experimented with different types of mind control substances and programs, okay? The Manchurian Candidate, the movie that was remade starring Denzel Washington, it was based on the MK Ultra project, but they kind of sensationalized it a bit. I believe that the DC snipers, okay, were MK Ultra projects. I believe a lot of the crazy shit shootings. The Sandy Hills, when the white boy shot up all them little white kids, he used to be in the military. The other shooting that took place in the Dark Knight Killer, military. Every crazed shooter has a history of being in the United States military. Rarely are they regular civilians. There's a reason for that. Because the Army likes to experiment. They're trying to create a human being who can literally kill on demand with no type of emotional reaction. They want a professional killer, and they're trying to make them. But it's hard to control human mind and psychology, so they're making mistakes and they go haywire. But I believe that in the DC sniper situation, that was intentional. Why do I say that? Because one of the persons killed was the brother who started Mata. He was a guardian. His name was Ken Bridges. He was the one that the sniper shot at the gas station in DC. His son, Jeff Bridges, was in the UNIA with me in Philadelphia. I was the first vice president. That was no random hit. You assassinate the only black man with an independent production and distribution and manufacturing process? So the government is programming people, okay, to kill on orders. Now, as far as what just happened the other day, I gotta finish my research on that. But if a black person didn't see it, I don't believe shit the TV says. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Unless a black person in Brooklyn said, I saw that brother kill him, I don't believe what white folks say. Because for all I know, they could have killed the cops their damn self, grabbed any brother off the street and blamed him for it. Because when you control the media, you can make criminals out of the innocent and innocent out of the criminals. Are y'all following me? Okay, let's go back to something else, unrelated but related. Nigeria. Remember a couple months ago, they said 300 Nigerian girls were kidnapped? How do you kidnap 300 children? Talking, screaming, crying, and nobody hears about it. I think that was fabricated. And if they were kidnapped, they was kidnapped by the government as a pretext to go into Nigeria and take over the oil and the gas reserves, okay? Now, let's go back. Michael Brown, he gets assassinated. The case reaches the United Nations Office of Human Rights. First time since Garvey, the UN looked at the black situation. American government is pissed because the UN steps in and say this is excessive and wrong. And what do they do to get attention off of Darren Wilson, the cop in Ferguson? They tell all the media, CNN, CNBC, Fox, to do what? Start focusing on black NFL superstars who beat their wives at home. And y'all know what I'm talking about? And then the next thing you know, all these black athletes being suspended, fired, arrested for beating on their women. Is it wrong? You're damn right. You should never put your hands on a black woman. That's why we need a ski mask club. But the point being, how you go from prosecuting police to prosecuting football players. And when they started focusing on the football players, we all took our attention away from the cops, right? But then we started putting it back on the cops when the no indictment came down in New York City. So then what they do? Take all the attention and throw it on Bill Cosby for raping black women 100 years ago. Excuse me, white women 100 years ago. You see what they're doing? They're trying to exterminate the black male image because it is absolutely essential to exterminating his physical. Stay with me. Adolf Hitler, Nazi assassination campaign. Okay? And don't edit these tapes and have white folks thinking I said Adolf should have assassinated. Okay? What did Adolf Hitler do before he started incarcerating the Jews? He had a propaganda campaign To do what? Kill the image of the Jew in the German mind, so when he started executing, who would give a damn? That's what America doing to the black man. They're using NFL athletes, Bill Cosby, me, anybody they can find to kill it. So when the wholesale massacre starts, nobody would do nothing about it, because wouldn't we be better off with our black men? Are y'all following me? Look, this all they want to do is smoke weed and have babies. We know it's not true, but this is the image. Lil Wayne, Jay-Z, 50 Cent, this is the image. Black people who participate in the assassination of their own image, but Jay-Z don't have to suffer the consequences of the assassinated black male image because he rich. Do y'all follow me? 50 Cent don't have to suffer the consequences of the negative images he put out about black men. He rich, but we have to suffer. You see? So they're killing our image as a pretext to killing black men. And I hate to say this because I got 4 younger brothers, I got a dozen nephews, okay? And God forbid nothing will ever happen to them, okay? But I know that there's going to be a crime wave coming against black folks that's going to make us look like we back in 1930 and 1940, okay? Study the politics. Watch how white folks work. Look at what the media pays attention to. Look at what they don't pay attention to. That's how you know what their next step is.
Yes.
But what do I think? I think black folk got to get rid of the nonviolent thing in America. We're going to have to do some things violently. It's the only thing that gets attention. If the Ferguson protests were nonviolent, it would have never reached the UN. Are y'all following me? They had to be violent. Okay, there's a time and a place to do everything. We have to stop legitimizing Al Sharpton.
Yeah.
We call him for every black problem. Why are you calling a sellout every do you realize he was on the case with Trayvon? He was on the case with Michael Brown. He was on the case with Eric. He's on the case in Cleveland. And don't get me wrong, I respect the lawyer, Benjamin Crump. I met him. We both presented at the Urban League Conference 2 years ago in New Orleans. He was a good brother. We met, we had lunch, it was all right, a group of us, okay? But all due respect to him, no other parent of an assassinated black boy needs to use him as a lawyer. Why? Because he ain't won shit. You lost Trayvon, you lost Michael Brown, you lost Eric, you're going to lose Cleveland. Are y'all following me? Anybody who studies law know, if a lawyer is tainted by a previous case, why would you give him for the same kind of case? He's losing every case because he's a part of Obama's bourgeoisie. Sharpton, Crump, Jesse, Tavis, Cornell, Dyson. He got like 10 Negroes whose job is to protect him and make black folk think things is getting better. Okay?
Thank you.
I should have been a damn lawyer. I'm mad. I should have. I was going to drop out my doctorate program like my second year when the racism started. I said, I need to just drop out and get my law degree. I wish I could have done it. Some of y'all need to go to law school. We need some strong black lawyers because a lot of them scared as hell. A lot of black lawyers won't even take certain cases because they scared of white folk. Like, for example, when you work in the schools, most lawyers are scared to take school lawsuits. Why? Because school districts often hire lawyers to do a lot of their work. So if you sue the school district for a parent in Rotterdam on behalf of her son being put in special ed illegally, you will never get a contract with the school district to do any litigation. Are y'all following me? So most black lawyers do not want to touch those school lawsuits, and that's why I wish I would have became an educational attorney instead of a psychologist. Okay? Because all they taught me was about how boys want to sleep with their moms and girls want to sleep with their dads and being gay is normal and it was a waste of my money. Yes, sir.
Good evening. My question is about the multicultural society.
Yes.
How do you feel about it? Because
I'm totally against multiculturalism. It's a weapon, it's a strategy that is being used to destroy concentrated black power. Let me give you an idea. In America right now, in the colleges, I go around, I speak at the colleges, right? I'm the most requested college speaker, by the way, in addition to the most requested hood speaker too. But anyway, they're changing Black Student Union. I was Black Student Union president in college, right? Nothing was wrong. Every white school had a Black Student Union. Well, guess what they're doing now? In the Obama years, they're going to the BSU and telling all the black student unions in America, you can't call yourself that no more. You now have to be the multicultural student union. This is going on right now in America. Yeah. And so now, let's say I was just at a college, South Carolina. They brought me in, right? The black speaker. Guess what they told me? If you're bringing Dr. Johnson in, you're going to have to find a Latino or a homosexual to come in and speak with him. This is what they do now. Because they say there's no more black. It's only multicultural. NAACP.
Yep.
The Urban League, they changed their mission statement. They no longer advocate just for blacks. They say we are for everybody. Congressional Black Caucus changed their mission. And anybody can research anything I'm telling you. They say we're no longer just for black advocacy. We advocate for everybody. Al Sharpton, what was the original name of his group? Black Action Network. BAN. He changed it to National Action Network because he's for everybody. You see what goes on? Once you adopt multiculturalism, and y'all better be careful with this. Once you adopt multiculturalism and align yourself with all non-white folk, you don't have a black agenda no more. There's only the multicultural agenda. And before you do anything, you got to get permission from the gays, the Arabs, the East Indians, the Latinos. You got to work together with all these other non-white folks who can't stand your ass either. So I'm totally against multiculturalism. It is nothing but a strategy to destroy concentrated black power and unity. Hell no. Unapologetically African. That's the only way to go.
It's a beautiful answer, right? But I do think, because back in the days, Martin Luther King, he started also with he had a dream to see the black man together with the white man.
That was propaganda, brother. That speech was propaganda.
Also.
It was propaganda. See, let me speak on this.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I want you to finish your point because I know that wasn't your point. But let me say this. We got to understand something. What a black leader says in front of white folk might not necessarily be what they intend in their heart. But they have to do it as a strategy to protect the real mission. Are y'all following me? When Malcolm X went over to the Middle East and came back after he split with Elijah and said, I saw Muslims who was white and every other color, and Islam is a religion for all people, and I think if the white man in America accepts Islam, it would do him a lot of good. Did you know Malcolm was already in the Middle East? Elijah sent him years before. He already knew there was white Muslims because he was already over there. That was propaganda to open up a public avenue for him to work with Dr. King. Malcolm had to look more mainstream. Are y'all following me? So he can work with King. He didn't believe in no dream shit. Did you know the Southern Christian Leadership Conference had a stockade of weapons? They had weapons. It's documented. Does that sound like a man who had a dream? King was ready to go to war because nonviolence was a strategy. And I agreed with it. You know why? If King would have used the same strategy Malcolm was talking in New York, in Birmingham, in Montgomery, they would have been massacred. He had to be nonviolent because he was in the Deep South. It was easy for Malcolm to talk that shit in Harlem. It was all black. You understand? If Malcolm was in Montgomery, he would have been being nonviolent. Trust me. Because you wouldn't have got away with that kind of talk down there. You see, so we got to understand when they talking strategy to protect the mission. Now, Al Sharpton talks bullshit and lives bullshit. So that's a whole different thing. Because whereas Malcolm and Martin was doing the right thing, they were saying something else. Sharpton never did the right thing or said the right thing. So when we say that, one day I might got to get on TV and say some shit that y'all know I don't believe in.